So talking about stress management, I would like to say something that emphasized a better way of looking at stress is a diagram like this. We can always add some extra words like distress, eustress, acute, and also chronic. And the difference between these types of axes is that distress is usually a negative type of stress, where eustress is more of a positive stress, where acute stress is short-lived and chronic is long-lived. So when you look at stress in this way, you see there's 4 different types of stress. But to make it even more complicated, there's more subtypes as well. So when we talk about stress, is it short, is it long, is it negative or positive? Yes, and it's shocking because there is actually positive stress out there. Think about it this way. If we don't have stress, we would do nothing. Stress is the thing that kicks us into action. Otherwise, we are stuck. Having too much stress demotivates, mobilizes us. That becomes distress. But eustress is something that pushes us into doing something that's good for us, like studying for a test, as an example, preparing for an interview, as an example. Then, when we look at stress, there's a lot of different definitions of stress. One of the definitions of stress that you can find in the dictionary is the ability to cope with the physical or emotional demands that's placed on us. This is a definition that I made up. The real definition is this one, our inability. This is the definition that you can find in general dictionaries, meaning the general perception of stress is an inability. You can't deal with it. And if you believe this definition, your idea about stress is not healthy. If you believe this definition of stress, there's a lot of studies connected to if you have a lot of stress, you will actually die sooner in life. So we need to change this definition to this definition. And in this content, we'll look at how you can do that. Now, you can also see it this way. Stressed isn't feeling that great. But if you change your perception about it, all of a sudden stressed becomes desserts. And who doesn't like desserts? So I would like us to stop having a negative perception about stress. So to do that, we need to look at the different types of stress as well. So we have frustration stress. That means that a goal that you are trying to get to is blocked, something stopping you. Conflict is when there's 1 or 2, 3, 4 options that's standing in your way. You have to choose something. Then we have change. That's any significant change in your life, something that occurs, something new, which you evaluate as stressful, harmful to you. Then pressure, and that's where we have pressure to either do better or fall behind. So it's to perform or to conform. Then stressors, that can be anything that you see as threatening to you, that puts a high demand on you, something that's threatening your norms. And when I say that, it sounds bad. But the thing is, we want to grow. And to grow will meet stress. So growth is a good thing. Maybe stress is also a good thing. Well, at least eustress and acute stress. That is healthy. It's a good thing. It's causing growth in our life. Chronic demotivates you. Distress demobilizes you. Those stresses we should not have. And we can sort out the distress and chronic stress mostly by having better planning. Okay, so the role of the appraisal is about this. The way you see, the perception you have about stress is going to influence how you deal with stress. So there's a transactional model of stress, almost like comparing, saying, but this and this, let's exchange. So when we appraise a stressor, first we need to evaluate, is it relevant to you or not? And also, if it's not relevant, it's not stressful. But if it's relevant, it could be stressful. The secondary appraisal is you find out, but can you deal with this or can you not deal with this? Okay. Getting back to the transactional model. So stress involved in a transactional model is the individual and their external world. Can you deal with the outside world? And that's the secondary appraisal. So see this lining up. Okay. So this is a quick sketch that you can look at. So there's a potential stressor, primary appraisal. If it's not stressful, if it's irrelevant, no stress. But if it's stressful, then we go to the secondary appraisal, where you ask the question, can I cope? If the answer is no, you will experience, well, if you cannot cope, you will have stress. If you can cope, there's no stress. Okay. Then, with any stressor, we need to appraise what is this about? And then we have a response. But if the response is something like anxiety, grief, dejection, physiologically quickening of the heart, this is fine, this is normal. But if it extends for too long, then we come to this exhaustion phase. And that is where we are so tired, burned out is the popular word, where we cannot deal with this anymore. This is stress that's been going on chronically for too long, distress for too long. Maybe it started with eustress, but it's changed into distress and it's chronic and it's just weighing you down. So when you are here, the normal things that your body do is turning against you. Like as an example, you would like to spend more time on this project, but you can't because of this phase. You're so tired and your body is trying to get rid of all excess load. So you start going to the bathroom more often, which causes you to have less time, more stress, and you're in this cycle now. So the idea is to get out of this exhaustion, going back to the resistance phase, going to back to the alarm phase, where you can see if a new stressor arrives on the scene. So this is what CANAR, of confident students, suggests to be better ways to dealing with stress. So being realistic, exercising the tension out of your bodies, learning to say no more often, asking for help. When we ask for help, we're actually increasing our resilience, which is also beneficial for us coping with stress. Then learn to deal with negative people. Then lose yourself in activity that you find pleasurable, something like arts and crafts, drawing. Reward yourself, preferably not by sugar, but reward yourself. Say, good job. Then get your life in order. Have more of a vision. Set goals for yourself. How can you get out of here or into that? How can you foster growth in your life, the ones that you want? So I like to use the 5 P's in this sense. It stands for proper planning prevents poor performance. Then making a wish list, what do you want to do, and help someone else. By asking help and by giving help, we increase our resilience. Okay, getting back to the sketch. So remember, we have distress, which is negative, and eustress, which is positive. And then we have chronic, which is long, and then acute, which is short. Now, if we say, but okay, let's put the demand that's placed on you. This demand, the primary appraisal, is this stressful? You need to evaluate that, appraise it. If it is stressful, we still have to weigh it. How much kgs does it weigh? If it's very stressful, it's going to go this way with this seesaw, teeter-totter. But if it is not so heavy, this side is heavier, and it pushes this way up, catapulting the task that you have to do over the mountains. Okay, so remember, we asked the question, is this stressful? Primary appraisal, and then can I cope with this? Secondary appraisal. So if you change your perception regarding the demand that's placed on you, if you want to do something perfect, you make this heavier. If you just want to do good enough, it's more manageable. I've done this with students in the past where I divided them in 2 groups, and I told the one group, but go outside, and while they were outside, I told the other group, you have to get this perfect. And this group, I told them, no, just have fun, try to do your best. And this one usually does better than the one that's trying to strive for perfection. So making it heavier for yourself, we need to try and make that different. Okay. Our brain also works like a fist. If you put pressure on it, it goes like this. This is the brain stem. This is the panic that you experience, the blackouts that you get. All of a sudden, all the information is gone when you're going to write the exam. Okay. Then over here, if you can increase your self-efficacy, and self-efficacy is where we believe we can do something. And the answer is always yes or not yet. If you don't understand this one so clearly, reach out to me so that I can explain this to you. But this is a better perception on stress that we can have. Okay. I hope this was beneficial to your understanding.